What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the weapon attachments in Fortnite Chapter 5. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below what you think of the weapon attachments. So, for starters, every weapon you find in Chapter 5, unless it's a gray weapon, is going to have attachments on it, and it's just completely random what attachment the weapon will spawn with. But green weapons will spawn with 1 attachment, blue weapons will spawn with 2 attachments, purple will spawn with 3, and then gold weapons will spawn with 4. And you can see in my inventory, each of the weapons has like a little, there's 4 dashes on the top of the weapon, and these weapons have different ones lit up. You see these green weapons each have 1 dash lit up. That's because they have 1 attachment. The blue weapon has 2 attachment slots lit up, and then this gold one has all 4 attachment slots lit up, right? And the order matters. The first attachment slot is going to be your sight. The second attachment slot is going to be the magazine attachment. And the third attachment slot is going to be the underbarrel attachment. And then the final slot is going to be the barrel. So you can tell just by looking at this blue AR in my inventory that it has a sight and an underbarrel attachment. But when you drop the weapons, it will actually say what attachments they have. It says this ambush striker AR has a 1.15x view scope and then an angled foregrip, which reduces the time to ADS. In the heat of the moment, it can be rough, especially with shotguns. A lot of weapons people don't care about, but the shotguns, I know some people are kind of either they really like having the sight on it or they really don't like having the sight on it. And so if you're in the heat of the moment and you're not sure, you could just look at the dashes and then immediately see like, okay, that gun I just picked up has a sight. Especially like early game, it can be really chaotic and you don't really have time to like sit down and look at the weapon, you know? But what really matters is when you if you want to customize the weapon, because like I just said, the attachments spawn random, you don't have any control over it. But the POIs, which have these gold little medallions on them, so Lavish Layer, I'm pretty sure that Riviera does, Snotty Steps, and then Glacier. Each of these POIs, they have a medallion, which means if you eliminate the boss, it'll drop the medallion, which is nice because that allows you to regenerate shield over time, but my location is now exposed. The more medallions you have, the faster you regenerate shield, but also the smaller the zone gets revealing you, so that people will be more aware of your location. But when you come down into these vaults, this is where you will be able to customize your weapons. So it's at set POIs, and there is gold in here, and it costs gold to customize your weapon. I'm going to have to farm this gold because this is a custom match, so I do not have my public match gold in here. But there's gold in here that you can farm. Hopefully you already have gold just from playing the game. And see, so this pump has 3 attachments because it's purple. It doesn't have a scope. It has a speed mag, it increases your reload speed. It has a laser to increase hipfire accuracy, and it has a muzzle brake to reduce recoil. When you bring it over to this upgrade bench, and there are guns here, so you could take this off the wall, and they will spawn with random attachments, which might save you some gold for customizing. But let's just say I really want to use the striker AR and customize this, and I like the 1.5x scope. That's fine. Actually, I prefer the 1.3 if I'm going to make it a main AR, but either way, we'll just stick with that. The drum mag is fine. I think personally I prefer the faster reload because the drum mag doesn't increase it that much to the point where like the reload speed is just really slow. The foregrips, we have one that reduces time to ADS, improves ADS recoil and spread, so this is going to reduce your recoil. And then the laser increases hipfire accuracy. And then for the final attachment slot, you have muzzle brake, which reduces recoil, or the suppressor, which reduces muzzle flash and dampens audio. So this might seem complicated to newer players or people who haven't played games with a lot of weapon customization, but the customization in this game is actually very basic and very bare bones because there's no cons to these attachments that we're aware of. If you guys have played a game like Warzone, a lot of the attachments will have pros and cons, so you kind of have to weigh, is this pro worth the con, or maybe like your barrel has a con and then you shore up that con by like using the angled foregrip or something. But you don't have to worry about that because it's straight positives, right? And so let's say I wanted to play something like, I'm going to use shotgun, AR, sniper, right? This is what I'm going to use. Let's see what scope this has. I'm fine with the 4x. You can actually just put a red dot on the sniper, and some people really enjoy that. But if I was going to use this kind of setup, I would want to kit my AR, this striker AR, to be more of like a close to like an SMG AR hybrid. And to do that, I would maybe do something like the hipfire accuracy laser, and then also the muzzle brake. And then maybe even no scope. And you can take the attachments off, which is huge. So if you get a shotgun and you don't want the sight on it, you could bring it to one of these and then take the sight off. So now I have a sniper. We're going to go ahead and put... we're going to go ahead and put this angled foregrip on. I don't know if the vertical foregrip is worth using because it says it reduces spread, but shouldn't have spread when you're aimed in. I haven't experimented with that as much. But as you see here, we have our shotgun. We have an AR SMG hybrid style thing. And look at how good the hipfire accuracy is on this because of that laser sight. Like, it doesn't have that wide of a spread at all. And it has a good fire rate. And then we have the sniper for long range. And I think that's the way you kind of want to think about attachments, is not only how are you going to use the weapon and then outfit the weapon accordingly, but also how does it complement the rest of the weapons in your setup? Because if I have the sniper, it's not as important to me to outfit my striker AR for like maximum range, you know? And I kind of touched on this earlier, but there's set POIs where the vaults spawn. And as you play more, you'll learn, you know, it's Snotty Steps, Fencing Fields, Glacier, Railway, and Lavish Lair, right? And even if the medallion isn't there, you can still go into the vault provided it's been opened, and odds are someone landing there and get the medallion is going to go into the vault. So oftentimes, if I don't just straight land at one of these mythic POIs, which I have been a decent amount, but let's just say I'm not going to for this game, I typically am going to want to rotate to one at some point and then customize my weapons, unless I just get really lucky and find a weapon that spawns with the attachments I want, or eliminate a player and they have good attachments on their weapons. But either way, I think customizing the weapons to your liking is a huge aspect of the game this season. And like I said before, this gold Frenzy Auto, I would like to use this. It sounds good. However, I don't want the scope on it. I don't want to scope on my auto shotgun. You just go to the bench and remove it, and it's actually free to remove it. And then, you know, the other attachments are fine. We go about our day. Again, I think it's very simple and very straightforward. It's just a lot of players maybe haven't even been able to get into this workbench area because they didn't know how the vaults work. They're not as familiar with the POIs. And then also in the heat of the game, it can be rough to customize the weapons. But again, they are fairly straightforward and fairly simple. And as you play more during the season, I feel like you'll be more familiar with what you actually want to use on the weapon. And yesterday, Epic actually did add more time to zones 1 and 2 because people complained that Storm was coming too fast. I'll have the tweet on screen now. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I think they added 20 seconds to both zones 1 and 2 to kind of give you a little bit more time to loot off spawn, rotate a little bit, not have the Storm on you immediately. So that's good. One final thing I wanted to touch on is that mythic weapons cannot be modified. So this mythic SMG was what was dropped from the boss here. You can't change the attachments on the mythic weapons. They're just stuck with what they have. So this Valeria's Hyper SMG will always have the Hollow 13 optic, the drum mag, the vertical foregrip, and the suppressor. And all the mythics, to my understanding, have like the same exact attachments every time. That's part of like how they are as a mythic. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for this video. Again, you just want to kind of customize the weapon to your liking and your playstyle. You can find weapons with attachments on them in the wild. And if you're not sure just by like sight, the way they look, because you could see the laser on it and the muzzle brake, and then if there's a sight on it, you could see it. But even if you aren't like fully accustomed to that, you can drop the weapon and see the attachments. Either way, though, I would recommend trying to make your way to a workbench over the course of the game. That way you do have full control over customizing your weapon. But hope you guys found this helpful, informative, interesting. I've been getting asked about the weapon customization a lot. So while this video is like very simple and very basic to someone who's probably been playing a lot over the course of the Chapter 5, for people who haven't had as much time to put in, this video probably helped you. If it did, give it a like, subscribe if you like some more, comment down below what you think of the weapon customization, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.